Some of you surprised to see it here with Bishop on air, but hey, it's the weekend, and I wanted to do kind of a deep dive into the rough transcript of the 4-day gun ban trial that wrapped up on Thursday. So I decided to just jump on here with Bishop on air and make that happen. Of course, we'll be live again tomorrow morning with Illinois in Focus Daily, but that's only through America's Talking Network. I know I've gotten tons of comments on this channel as to what happened to your show, and listen, it just went from the Daily Show being here with Bishop on air to being that daily show with Illinois in Focus and America's Talking Network. The thinking there is a lot more resources could be put into that to make it a strong show with regularly updated content for you. So welcome in. Surprising to see people jumping in at 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon. A bit rainy here in central Illinois. I don't know where you guys are, but good afternoon to Dave, Pat, Jerry, Jordan, Mr. Ryan, Jean, Christopher Stotch. Appreciate you guys. Dr. Fark, Melton being here as well. Again, go to America's Talking Network on YouTube if you want that daily show. All right, the Daily Show, we've been doing it every day. I did take a few weeks off for vacation, but took some time off, came back to it for that coverage of the gun ban trial in East St. Louis. So as we get people in here, really do appreciate you guys being part of the program and even following me over to America's Talking Network. Again, I want to encourage you, get over to America's Talking Network so that you can stay up to date with the daily program. Each and every weekday morning, we go live at about 8 o'clock. Guests, analysis of all kinds of news, not just the gun ban stuff. And of course, we've been tracking the gun ban stuff for, well, really since before it started in January of 2023. But I was in the courtroom. What I want to do coming up after just a brief. Why can't I say that? It's ridiculous. But anyways, after we take just a brief break, I'm going to go through day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of my notes of the court proceedings. This isn't a complete transcript. This isn't, I call it a rough transcript in the title of the show here, but it's not even really a rough transcript. The transcript will be coming out from the court soon, but I just wanted to go through at least my notes from the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So that's really what we're going to do here. And of course, you guys can chat it up in the chat room live. If you're watching this on the re-upload, you can always join me live each and every weekday morning with America's Talking Network. With Bishop on air here, and again, you guys understand there's 2 different channels. This is my own personal thing. It's on the weekend. It's a Sunday stream. Let's just crack it open and see what goes on. But I do plan on doing some more deeper dives on some things here with Bishop on air. I'm going to try to get to a few gun ranges, the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state. I'm also going to try to, look at the history of some of these laws here in Illinois, like the firearm owner ID card law. I want to go get the legislative transcripts and read those out. What was the rationale behind passing a firearm owner ID card? Maybe look at some of the other lawsuits that there are and the stages of which they are. Right. I mean, it was pretty neat to see that Bishop on Air was mentioned by Four Boxes Diner, Mark Smith, taking some of the posts on X from the courtroom and extrapolating how that was impacting other cases, challenging other things. So that was interesting to see, and thumbs up on that. But so that's what we're going to do here. All right, we're just going to take a short break and then come back and delve right into the transcripts from day 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the gun ban trial in East St. Louis for Judge Stephen McGlynn's court. So stay tuned. Judge Stephen McGlynn ending his comments in court on Thursday by displaying a picture with an arrow pointed to it, surrounded by debris, a building. And that building just happened to be the courtroom everyone was sitting in there on Thursday as Judge McGlynn talked about the 1917 race riots. That's how he ended the bench trial in the ban challenge of Illinois' Protect Illinois Communities Act. So you've got this law that was put into place January of 2023. Lawsuits filed thereafter in state court. So we had a 4-day bench trial in East St. Louis, and let's get right on into it. As we've got the live stream giving us some hiccups, but have no fear, we'll be back at it. And of course, we re-upload the locally recorded segments so you don't miss a thing. All right, so if you do get held up with the live stream, don't worry. We'll be back with, obviously, the full upload. All right, so let's get into this, all right? I was in the courtroom each and every day, day 1, day 2, day 3, and it's kind of fascinating, again, to be watching all of this happen. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the X page, and we're just going to go through this together, all right? So here we are. Bench trial for Illinois' gun ban begins. Day 1, live posts from the Southern District Federal Court. Follow this thread. Court now in session. Judge Stephen McGlynn presiding. Barnett v. Raoul litigants announced their presence. But it wasn't just Barnett v. Raoul. You had Harrell v. Raoul. You had the ISRA as part of that case. You had the firearms licensed FFLs there. You had a variety of different cases, 4 altogether consolidated. So one attorney announces several others. They went to go get Wi-Fi. McGlynn asked. They went to get a glass of white wine. Courtroom laughs, no objection. He says, so clearly a little bit of levity right at the start of the case. McGlynn opens, designates lead case to the Barnett's attorney, speaks on behalf of all plaintiffs. Says that the state enacted an unconstitutional gun and magazine ban. The law doesn't stop there. It also bans popular shotguns used for duck hunting. These are popular firearms, the plaintiff said. Scope's limited. Historical tradition based on briefs. Standing is based on the briefs. What arms are is to be considered. I think this is important to note here. What the arms are to be considered was military versus, civilian grade. The historical standing and the precedent and the Second Amendment and all of that was being relegated to just the briefs. So what was being talked about in court for the 4 days really was about distinguishing military-issued rifles versus rifles that people can buy at a gun store. Anyways, Barnett counsel lays out firearms attachments to be considered, says while some may be used by police and military, they have dual use, and Second Amendment comes in. Quoting McGlynn from an order he had back in February in this case. Then the plaintiffs lay out what's to expected from live testimony, including Pulaski. Scott Pulaski, owner of Piasaw Armory, says it's important to hear from Illinois resident impacted by the gun ban, says the state's witnesses doesn't have a single Illinois resident. The plaintiffs continue. Previous declarations have been filed, trial exhibits on a jump drive, including discovery records, etc.